bringing you analysis and insight into the Crimson Tide. Your Crimson Cover hosts, John Copeland, Mike Parker, and Chase Goodbread. Sponsored by Alabama Credit Union. And now, Crimson Cover.
Welcome to Crimson Cover Television on WVUA, Alabama's home team. I'm Chase Goodbread of NFL.com, joined as always by Big John Copeland from the 1992 Crimson Tide National Champions, recruiting analyst Mike Parker to my left. Big show for you tonight here on Crimson Cover. We're going to be, of course, previewing Alabama's big tilt with the Georgia Bulldogs coming up on Saturday on the road over in Athens. We'll be recapping the ULM game, 34-0 for the Crimson Tide this past week. We'll go around the SEC. We'll have our Week 5 picks. We've got the ticker. We've got the mailbag. We've got all kinds of stuff here on Crimson Cover, fellas. But we start, of course, with the Georgia Bulldogs. Mike, Alabama goes into Athens already with one loss on the season, a second SEC loss. Would certainly knock Alabama out of the national championship race, probably knock Alabama out of the SEC race. So it couldn't be any bigger stakes-wise for the Crimson Tide as they go to Athens.
No, I'm in full agreement. This is a must-win situation for this football team if they want to continue the goals that they set each and every year, and that's to win the SEC, and after that, a national championship. So there's going to be a lot of pressure. It's going to be real loud. It'll be probably Jake Coker's first real big test other than the Wisconsin game. I think we need to play better on the offensive line. I think we need to get some more push against these guys. I think, once again, we need to just do what we do, and that's run the football. I thought we passed it so many times last week. It was ugly. It was inconsistent, stop and go the whole ball game. There was no fluidity. It was pretty ugly on the offensive side of the ball. The receivers have to catch the football. I mean, that's their DNA. That's what they're supposed to do. They got to help out Jake Coker. Lane Kiffin needs to call a better game, more run plays, and we can't pass protect that well. So roll Coker out, bootleg him, just get him out of the pocket. He's athletic enough, and he can throw it, I think, a little bit better on the run than launching that shotgun heave he does, which never works in the first place. It always ends up an interception.
Not a revenge game, though.
Oh, I think it is a huge revenge game. Yes, it is.
No, it's not. The whole revenge narrative just
Georgia does not forget the blackout when we were beating their brains 30-0 at halftime. You're out of your mind. They've been waiting for this a long time.
There's not one football player on the Georgia roster who played for Georgia in 2008 when Alabama won that game.
Doesn't have to be.
Yes,
Coaches, fans. No, it doesn't.
John,
it doesn't.
It's not a revenge game.
It's been beaten in their head. Last time y'all played these guys, we got the crap beat out of us.
Even the Georgia coaching staff has turned over a whole lot.
A little bit. No, a little bit, not a whole lot.
New offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, it's changed.
Same head coach.
Same head coach. Not one different. Every player's new. Everyone. It's not a revenge game. Come on, John.
It's a revenge game.
I think it's. I bet you it have been mentioned. I don't know if this is a revenge game or not, but Mark Rick and his staff understand the importance of this football game, and they also understand what Alabama did to them when they came down there for that blackout, and they was the number 3 team in the country. Maybe not revenge, but maybe it is.
I think it is. Maybe, but maybe not. I think it is.
No,
and those fans are going to be going crazy.
Now, the fans haven't forgotten, I'm sure.
And that's the fuel that fuel the fire, the fans. If the fans think it's a revenge game, that is trickling into the athletic program, then it's a revenge game.
All right, we'll agree to disagree, which we do a lot of on Crimson Cover. The Alabama offense versus the Georgia defense. Let's start there, breaking the game down. John, what does Alabama need from Jake Coker in this football game to come out of there with a road win?
Nothing. Hand the ball off. Stop trying to make Jacob Coker into something that he's not.
They're going to need something from him. Come on.
Look, the kid is really good when he's able to pass the ball once the offensive, they have established a run game. Now you got the defense guessing. You can throw the ball and run a situation. That's when he's really good. When he's not good, when they get themselves in a third and definitely passing situation and the defense knows he's going to pass, he's not good right there. We need to stop passing the ball so much. I really don't know what the offensive coordinator is thinking or what they're thinking on the offensive side of the football. Maybe they don't have confidence in an offensive line to run block. to open up gaps. But whatever it is, throwing the football is not the key for this football team.
Yeah, I watched this last game against ULM, Mike, where Alabama's running game really never got totally unglued, and it seemed like there was a missed block on almost every play somewhere. Not always from the same guy. I know Dominic Jackson's caught a lot of flack at right tackle, but you know what? It's not just Dominic Jackson. There's guys across that whole offensive line that are missing a block here and there, and it seems like somebody's missing one every play.
I think a lot of that has to do with miscommunication, not knowing what to do. I think these guys have the talent, and they, by the fourth game of the year, these guys should be gelling by now, but it's not. If anything, it's regressed since the first ball game. When we played against Wisconsin, that's the best our offense has looked, hands down.
All right, the Georgia offense versus the Alabama defense. That's where Alabama's got to butter their bread, I guess, in this game, John. Grayson Lambert, 35 out of his last 37 going back to the Vanderbilt game. 9 out of 10 in his last game, 24 out of 25 against South Carolina. Hit 2 of his last 2 against Vanderbilt, so he's obviously on fire. But the guy they got to stop is Nick Chubb in the backfield.
There's no question about that. If you can let them get their running game established, it's going to be a long day for Alabama defense. But I just don't think they're going to be able to run the ball consistently throughout the day. But here's the thing about that. If you stop them from running the ball when they want to run it every down, but you can't let them run the ball in a situation where they get 2 or 3 yards. Just run it well enough to keep you off balance. That's what happened to Alabama in the Ole Miss game. Ole Miss didn't get a whole bunch of rushing yards, but they was able to run it when they needed to run the football. Alabama defense have to avoid that.
You've been saying all year that Alabama's defensive front is not going to get run on the entire season. This game, in my opinion, is going to be their biggest challenge. Chubb's definitely the best running back they've seen.
Yeah, that's going to be their biggest challenge.
It'll be but to this point in the season, if anybody to this point in the season could run on Alabama, it's going to be Georgia. Does it happen or not, Mike?
I think it happens to some degree, but I think that's one thing we can stop. I think our middle linebackers, Reggie and Rubin, plugging those gaps in. Good luck, Chubb. I mean, I'm telling you right now, that's what these guys do.
Alabama defense is built for this.
Yeah, exactly. Something's gonna break. I mean, somebody's got to win.
And you know what, guys?
And let me tell you why I like our guys, because we can wear them down. They're gonna be playing 5 offensive linemen the whole game. We're gonna be playing 9 defensive linemen. Going against those guys, we're gonna wear them out. And by the fourth quarter,
maybe. But here's my thing. And I've never been a big component of blitzing. I really don't like the blitz. I think if you play the proper technique, you can get the job done without doing it. But with our young secondary and the way they played this year, we're going to have to force the quarterback to get rid of the ball before he want to get rid of it. If we let him sit back there and get comfortable in the pocket, he's going to pick us apart. And there's not going to be anything we can do about it. We're going to have to make this guy extremely uncomfortable for this defense to be successful in the passing game.
Before we get out of here on the first segment, I'll just throw out a quick hypothetical for both of y'all. All right, let's assume 25 carries for Nick Chubb. If he gets 25 totes, how many yards does he get, Mike?
70 at best.
I'm thinking 75, 80 myself.
Both of you.
I'm thinking, what do you think?
Well, that'd be a shutdown.
What do you think?
I mean, that'd be a shutdown.
And they are going to shut him down.
If he
here's the thing about those 75 and 80 yards. If he get those 75 and 80 yards when Georgia want to run the football, then it was a win for Georgia. They have to shut this guy down and make them one-dimensional, make them pass the football.
And they have to tackle outside on the perimeter. Because I think what they're going to try to do is the power run to set us up, and then I think they're going to try to attack us on the edge.
And Ole Miss didn't have a whole lot of rushing yards, but they ran the ball when they needed to run the football. And
let's keep talking about Georgia.
All right, that's going to do it for this segment on Crimson Cover. When we come back, we'll be recapping Alabama's win over Monroe and plenty more. You're watching WVUA, Alabama's home team.